On Verified on NDTV at 10 p.m. Our top lead is going to be Sanjay Raut out on bail and ED in dock after the PMLA court in Mumbai made some scathing comments on the Enforcement Directorate in Sanjay Raut's case while giving him bail. What impact is it going to have on the politics in Maharashtra on the upcoming BMC polls? We'll talk all about that. Our second lead is going to be the Lotus logo war, which is going on between the BJP and the Congress after Prime Minister Narendra Modi revealed the logo, the Lotus logo for the G20 summit, which India would be hosting. The Congress alleges that it is the BJP propagating their party symbol. But does the Lotus only belong to the BJP? We'll get to more on that. Our third lead is the story that people are watching very, very carefully. Mega layoffs at Meta, the parent company of Facebook. All that and much more in just a short while. Stay tuned. Good evening. Welcome to Verified on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. The top focus, you all know, the three top stories that I am going to talk about today. So without wasting a moment, let's very quickly shift our focus to my lead number one, Mr. Sanjay Raut, MP from Uddhav Thackeray's faction of the Shiv Sena. After spending 100 days in prison, Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut was released from Mumbai's Arthur Road jail earlier this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It was hours after he was granted bail by a court, the PMLA court, in an alleged money laundering case filed by the Enforcement Directorate. Not only this is a surprising event because the Sena MP got the bail from a lower court, which is quite a rare occasion under the stringent provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The court sharply rebuked the Enforcement Directorate for arresting the politician and also said no reason with a pick and choose attitude as far as the ED is concerned. The ED has moved the High Court, which refused to stay the order, and now is going to hear the ED's side of the story tomorrow when the hearing in the High Court takes place. But I just want to stay with these pictures of Mr. Raut and let's tell our viewers what happened after his release. Sanjay Raut was welcomed by elated Shiv Sena workers, and in his trademark theatrics, he knows how to play the cameras. Mr. Raut greeted his followers with, the very triumphant gestures. We were just showing those pictures to you, Mr. Raut on top of the vehicle. Look at that, celebrations, crackers, in fact, being burst outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan and Mr. Raut's residence as well. Sanjay Raut also visited the Siddhi Vinayak temple, and Mr. Raut, who, as I was earlier telling you, who understands the power of visuals, gave ample opportunity to the cameras. You see him at Balasaheb Thackeray's memorial as well later. Mr. Thackeray, Mr. Raut, who's a close aide of, Uddhav Thackeray. Now, all this which is happening is optics, ladies and gentlemen, is powerful messaging that he's trying to do as far as the politics of Maharashtra is concerned. He came out, he also spoke to the media. Listen in.
अब कोर्ट का जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है वो सामने आया है। हमने हमारे जिंदगी में कभी गलत काम नहीं किया है। एक दूसरे से राजनीतिक मतभेद होते रहेंगे डेमोक्रेसी, लेकिन मैंने 100 दिन से भी ज्यादा दिन जेल में काटे, मैं कभी भूलूंगा नहीं। लेकिन मेरी किसी के खिलाफ गिला शिकवा नहीं है। मुझे हमारी देश की न्याय व्यवस्था ने न्याय दिया है और मैं हमारी न्याय व्यवस्था का आभारी।
Now, very, very scathing remarks the court today, the PMLA court, in fact, made against the Enforcement Directorate. I would very quickly just want to take you through what the court has said while granting Mr. Sanjay Raut bail. The court said that Sanjay Raut was arrested for no reason. The court, in fact, also said disparity and pick and choose attitude has been shown by the agency, that is the Enforcement Directorate. The court also said you cannot simply label pure civil dispute with money laundering economic offence, which is a very, very stringent offence as far as the IPC is concerned. They also said you cannot drag an innocent person in a miserable situation because of, in guise of the arrest. This is something that Sanjay Raut, would have been hoping for. This is something that he's going to use further in this case as well. This order, the judicial principles that guide the court cannot be ignored, is what the court said. And Sanjay Raut, Praveen Raut, both illegally have been arrested, is also a remark that the court made in its order. The court also said the main accused number 1 and 2, have not been arrested. Why was it that accused number 4 and 5, Sanjay Raut and Praveen Raut, were arrested in this case? The Raut family, understandably, was emotional earlier when Mr. Raut was in fact released. I spoke to his brother a short while back.
पहले आज किस तरीके से अभी आप बाहर निकले हैं संजय राउत साहब, आपकी उनसे बातचीत हो पाई? घर में आज आपके काफी खुश होंगे लोग।
जब मेरे 84 एज की मम्मी है, उसके सामने जब उसको लेके गए थे तो उसके आंख में आंसू थे। आज हमारे राउत फैमिली, ठाकरे फैमिली और शिवसेना की महाराष्ट्र की फैमिली से आनंद के आंसू निकल रहे कि जिस तरह से राउत साहब को किसी गलत इसमें अरेस्ट किया था और पीएमएल का जो कोर्ट ने उनको जो जजमेंट दिया है, ये ईडी वाले को बड़ी चपराक है।
संजय जी से आपकी बात हुई सबसे पहले जेल से बाहर आके, क्या बोला उन्होंने?
साथ में ही है, संजय जी ने अभी तक कुछ स्टेटमेंट दिया नहीं। हजारों लोग जेल के बाहर खड़े, आप देख लो, पूरे लोग पूरा भरे हुए, गाड़ी हमारी पास नहीं हो रही, हजारों लोग उनके स्वागत के लिए खड़े हैं। धन्यवाद।
Now, with Sanjay Raut out on bail and the scathing remarks by the PMLA court, what impact is it going to have on Maharashtra politics? Joining me now, Mr. Arvind Sawant, member of Lok Sabha for the Shiv Sena, Sudhir Mungatiwar, Cabinet Minister in Government of Maharashtra, also with us. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. Mr. Sawant, I want to start by asking you first, what do you make of this order? What do you make of this order which has come out as from the PMLA court is concerned, and the impact it is going to have?
It may not be acquittal, but the fact remains, the strictures which the Honorable Court has passed against the ED are very, very serious. It's not observation, it's a strict, they have made statements that you have arrested Mr. Sanjay Raut unlawfully. What more you want? A person, anybody of this country, a genuine citizen of this country is arrested without any reason. Forget about for a moment he is a leader of the Shiv Sena. How can we arrest him and keep him for 100 days with yourself without any reason, valid reason, without any genuine proofs about the accusation against him? And then that is the point which the Honorable Court has asked them. And then one more statement the court has said, when you are arrested the accused number 4, 5, you did not arrest accused number 2 and 3, Mr. Vadhva. Why? Why not? The ED is a puppet of the government of India and puppet of particularly Bharatiya Janata Party.
You're calling the ED puppet of the BJP, but what impact do you see this? Mr. Raut coming out, he has stayed loyal to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. How do you see this strengthening your party?
He has proved himself what a true fighter he is. He did not succumb to any pressures. Kindly recall the press conference conducted by Mr. Sanjay Raut, wherein he has said it, that I was pressurized, I was lured, I was offered so many things. He did not succumb to the pressure of the ruling party BJP. That's why he is arrested. And that is the way, and that's why the people, when he is coming victorious, we feel it is victorious for us now. The youngsters and the all Shiv Senis will get a lot of energy out of it. And it proves what the BJP is. A party with difference. What is it? What do you mean by BJP?
A party with difference, you're calling them, and you're making a remark on the BJP. But sir, the fact is, do you see this having any impact ahead of the BMC elections? He's just been let off. BMC elections around the corner. How does it change the equation as far as the BMC elections are concerned?
surely, sir, it will have a very good impact for the moral of the people will go high. Moral of the workers will go high. And it will prove how the BJP is working. That the people working, all these are, they create all these imaginary things and say that instead of going to the issues, they go on creating imaginary things and they want to deceive the people. Now people will come to know the party with the difference party is a deceptive party.
We'll leave it to the people to decide. But, there have been criticism of the Uddhav Thackeray government when you were in power, government as well, of, using the police against your opponents, of being high-handed. The same argument is something that you are using against the ED today.
So fact remains the fact, sir. Her certificate is a false certificate she has produced as a scheduled caste, and it has been proved in all courts. Only the justice has to be delivered. It is being delayed. On whose directives it is being delayed? I have said in the parliament also. Whose directive it is being delayed? Why not a justice? There you are denying it, and therefore the lower court has said, are you managed by someone? To the police, which comes under the Home Department. That shows the law is not there. Law and order is disturbed by the ruling party itself. That's what I'm saying.
You were talking about, Member of Parliament Navneet Rana, and I didn't want to name her, but so you were making that remark on her. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sawant. Mr. Mungtiwar, I also, in fact, would like to understand from you, sir, your reaction to this. You heard what Arvind Sawant said as far as Mr. Sanjay Raut is concerned. बाहर आ गए हैं, PMLA के कोर्ट ने इतने सख्त बातें कही हैं ईडी के बारे में, उस पर आपका रिएक्शन क्या है?
फिर जमानत देने के लिए इतने दिन कोर्ट ने क्यों लगाए, ये प्रश्न उपस्थित होता है। ऐसा है कि उन्होंने जमानत के लिए कोई पहली अर्जी 100 दिन के बाद तो नहीं दी। जमानत के लिए उन्होंने जब न्यायमूर्ति महोदय के पास अर्जी दी तो न्यायमूर्ति महोदय को ऐसा लगता था तो जमानत तो वो कभी भी दे सकते थे। न्यायमूर्ति महोदय के पास जमानत की अर्जी इसके पहले भी दी गई है, तो इसका कारण क्या है, इस पे चर्चा ये तो हाईकोर्ट में होगी।
नहीं, हाईकोर्ट में चर्चा तो होगी, लेकिन जो ऑपोजिशन है वो हमेशा कहती रहती है कि ईडी तो आप बीजेपी का और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का एक हथियार बन गया है। उस पर आप क्या कहेंगे?
देखो, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता, क्योंकि ये कोई सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट नहीं है। अब ये जजमेंट हाईकोर्ट में चैलेंज हो रहा है, तो हाईकोर्ट में विस्तृत रूप से इस पे चर्चा होगी, डिस्कशन होगा। पूरे देश के कोई कोर्ट में कोई विषय के बारे में जब कोई मत व्यक्त किया जाता है, भाष्य किया जाता है, तो वो सर्वव्यापी नहीं हो सकता है। वो उस अकेले केस के बारे में वो मत रहता है। सभी केसेस के बारे में अगर ऐसा कोर्ट का मत होगा तो फिर ईडी की सभी केसेस को सभी को जमानत दे देनी चाहिए, या फिर ये कोर्ट ने जो निर्णय दिया है उसी आधार पर हर कोर्ट ने वही आधार पकड़कर निर्णय दे देना चाहिए। देखो, ये जमानत दी है, ना कि ये कोर्ट ने ये नहीं कहा कि वो बाइज्जत बरी कर दी है।
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं आप, अभी बरी नहीं किया गया है उनको। लेकिन मैं आपसे जाने से पहले पूछना चाहता हूं, बीएमसी चुनाव पर इसका असर होगा? शिवसेना कह रही है, उद्धव ठाकरे की टीम कह रही है, जोश आ गया है कार्यकर्ताओं में।
देखो, कोई बाहर आने से उद्धव जी मजबूत होंगे ऐसा कहना ही, उद्धव जी ये बहुत छोटे व्यक्ति है ऐसा बताना होगा। देखो, उद्धव जी उनके पार्टी के सबसे बड़े नेता है, बाकी सब उनके साथ में जुड़कर काम करने वाले हैं, और शिवसेना में बाकी कोई नेता नहीं है ऐसा कहना भी गलत होगा।
चलिए, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, हमसे बात करने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच टू बोथ ऑफ यू फॉर पुटिंग फॉरवर्ड योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑन दिस बिग स्टोरी दैट वी हैव बीन ट्रैकिंग सिंस इवनिंग। नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू माय सेकंड लीड इज द बीजेपी थ्रू इंसेप्शन पुशिंग देयर पार्टीज symbol lotus by putting it as the logo for the G20 summit. Are they using lotus as an integral part of the Indian culture as an excuse to propagate and popularize their party symbol? Should this be seen as an attempt to represent Indian culture through the symbols of the Bharatiya Janata Party? That's the hot debate, ladies and gentlemen, which has now been ignited after the Congress questioned the choice of lotus as G20 symbol, accusing the BJP of putting their party symbol over the the national messaging that they wanted to send out for G20. Just take a look at what has been happening on this. The Prime Minister very recently had just in fact gone ahead and unveiled this logo, to which now the Congress party has come out and attacked the BJP. Jairam Ramesh has said over 70 years ago, Nehru rejected the proposal to make Congress flag the flag of India. Now BJP's election symbol has become official logo for India's presidency of G20. While shocking, we know now that Mr. Modi and the BJP won't lose any opportunity to promote themselves. Now, this has ignited a massive political war of words. Listen in.
Look, I am very proud of the lotus as a symbol, but it has unfortunately been adopted by one particular party. Everyone of us is proud of our hand. But how would the BJP have reacted if the Congress government or the UPA government had put a hand in an international symbol for the country? You can say every Indian has a hand, but that doesn't mean that, when your party is using it as a symbol, that you can then put it on a national or international cause. Similarly, yes, Indians are proud of the lotus in their private capacity, but the lotus in our politics is a symbol of a particular party. And to apply a party symbol to a logo which presents India to the world internationally was, I think, in very poor taste.
कमल आज से हजारों वर्षों से भारत और भारतीय संस्कृति में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है। कोई भी पुष्प, अरे भाई उनको ध्यान नहीं है, कबीर के भजन में अष्ट कमल दल चरखा सोहे, पंच तत्व गुण तीनी चदरिया, ये राम नाम रस बीनी चदरिया। वैसे उनको कष्ट भले ही हो, परंतु यह सत्य है कि यदि हमें इंटेलेक्चुअल सुपर पावर बनना है या इकोनॉमिक सुपर पावर बनना है, तो लक्ष्मी जी भी कमल पर विराजती हैं और सरस्वती जी भी कमल पर विराजती हैं। तो जो कमल का विरोध करने की बात करते हैं, तो ये निश्चित रूप से भारतीय संस्कृति और हिंदू धर्म के प्रति एक और अवमानना का प्रतीक है।
Trust, political parties to give it a religious twist as well. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi, I just want to remind you, just a couple of days back had unveiled this logo for the G20 presidency of India. Let's listen in and show you what the Prime Minister had said at that moment.
इस लोगो में कमल का फूल भारत की पौराणिक धरोहर, हमारी आस्था, हमारी बौद्धिकता, इन सबको एक साथ चित्रित कर रहा है। हमारे यहां अद्वैत का चिंतन जीव मात्र में एकत्व का दर्शन रहा है। ये दर्शन आज के वैश्विक द्वंद्वों और दुविधाओं के समाधान का माध्यम बने। इस लोगो और थीम के जरिए हमने ये संदेश दिया है, युद्ध से मुक्ति के लिए बुद्ध के जो संदेश है, हिंसा के प्रतिरोध में महात्मा गांधी के जो समाधान है, G20 के जरिए भारत उनकी वैश्विक प्रतिष्ठा को नई ऊर्जा दे रहा है।
Okay, so this is something that you have heard everywhere in the news, but let me give you some additional information. As most of us have read, have heard, that lotus is the national flower. But is it actually? Well, this is what we found in our research. The Government of India national portal calls lotus the national flower of India. But there is a twist in the tale. In 2019, Minister of State Home Affairs, this is the current government I'm talking about, said no notification from the Environment Ministry on lotus being the national flower. So the verdict is still out whether lotus is the national flower of the country or not. But the fight on lotus, a blooming fight on lotus, is on. I also very quickly want to tell you, because Congress is saying that this is just the BJP's national symbol. When did BJP adopt lotus as their national symbol? Well, the Bharatiya Jansangh, the parent organization of the BJP, from where they descended into, in fact, the BJP, They had the diya symbol, the lamp symbol from 1951 to 1977. After that, if you move on, BJS merged with the Janata Party, Bharatiya Janata Sangh merged with the Janata Party 1977, and a farmer with a plough became their symbol. It was only in 1980 Lotus was adopted as Janata Sangh split with the Janata Party to form the Bharatiya Janata Party. So it's not that BJP has had a very long history of Lotus as their party symbol. It was only in 1980 that the BJP, which was formed after the split of the Janata Sangh from the Janata Party, adopted Lotus as their party symbol. Well, let's move on to lead number 3, our very quick primer on the very distressing news that you have heard today of the job cuts at Meta. Is the Silicon Valley bubble about to burst? I'm saying this on the back of the big news that came in today from Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram's parent company Meta. Following the brutal and shocking layoffs at Elon Musk's acquired Twitter last week, Mark Zuckerberg's Meta has fired 11,000, you heard it right, 11,000 employees worldwide. Now, reports suggest that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has admitted to its hundreds of executives that he is accountable for companies' missteps and that his over-optimism about growth had led to overstaffing. According to reports, Laurie Goller, Meta's head of human resources, had told the group employees who lose their job will be provided at least 4 months of salary as severance package. The broad cuts could specifically hit recruiting and business teams as among those facing the layoffs as per reports. Now, Meta has been facing economic challenges as its shares prices, in fact, have been down 70% to date. Last month, the quarterly forecast wiped off an additional $80 billion in value, making it $500 billion in Meta's value so far. Mark Zuckerberg has painted a grim outlook of the forecast and expects a long-term horizon for the company's investment in the metaverse to pay dividends. Now, it's just not Meta, but the culling process is on in other tech giants as well. Now, Meta joins the list of tech companies that are laying off their employees. Last week, Twitter fired over 50% of their workforce. It was a brutal shakedown at Twitter. Over 90% employees in India were affected by this, in fact, culling process. Now, Microsoft too is expected to cut staff. Apple too has placed a hiring freeze expected to last most of 2023 as economic conditions have grown more challenging. So, big companies, Meta, Facebook, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, and then, of course, Twitter, all laying off employees. This seems to be just the beginning of possibly bad news which is coming in on the economic front. That's all the time that we have in this edition of Verified. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back with the top stories, the explainers, and everything you need to know here on NDTV tomorrow. Thank you so much. Good night.